Hi, in this video we're going to talk about a logarithmic function which is a natural logarithmic. So as you know that ln is also a logarithmic function which is defined as the log to the base e, right? As you know that e is a number which is 2.718 something, which is a number greater than 1, right? So as I defined in the previous video, I talked about log to the base a. The a must be greater than 1, right? As long as the log to the base a, the a is greater than the 1, you can follow, right, the graph, the patterns, the characteristic and the shape of the graph will be followed. It's just like a previous video. Alright, for example, this one, ln is log e, log x minus 1, right? So it will be follow exactly the same. So the step of drawing the graph for natural logarithm, the ln graph, so you will still be the same. So the first thing is the input here, the input, the domain, the input have to be greater than 0. As you know that log, the value inside the log cannot be negative, right? So x must be greater than 1. This is the first thing. The second step here very simple. So you sketch the graph, then you look at where is the location of the graph here. So you see that x more than 1. So it means the 1 here is referred to the vertical asymptote. Alright? The vertical asymptote. So you know that. Okay, you only can watch this video when you already watched the video for the logarithmic function, right? You have to follow what have I been discussed, so that once you go to this video, you will have a clearer picture about what am I talking about. So x1, so 1 here. So more than 1 means that the curve will not be on the left side, because more than, it will be on the right hand side here. So right hand side here. So it's either the shape, the vertical asymptote is on the right, it will not be here. It's either go up, the graph for log will be going up or going down this way, right? Going up, going down. So I will write this as number 1 and number 2. So this one is either one, right? Either one. So it depends on the sign in front of the ln here. You see, that is a positive, right? The positive in front of ln is positive, so we will choose the 1. Alright, 1. So the graph will be moving in this direction, right? And you know that it won't intersect the y-intercept. So you're not going to find the y-intercept, but you find the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, the third step. Okay, a student were asking me, sir, you want to find y-intercept or x-intercept? How? Which to find? You have to be smart in deciding x-intercept, y-intercept. In this case, the graph will be on the right, so it will not intercept the y-intercept. Takkan you want to find the y-intercept, right? That's the logic here. So x must be, you want to find x-intercept. So then you have y equals to 0. So it means that the ln x minus 1, the y here, y equals to ln x must be equals to 0. And you know that the ln is log to the base e, x minus 1 equals to 0. And x minus 1 will be equals to the e to the power of 0, which is 1. And x equals to 1 plus 1, you have 2, right? So means 2 here, they have a x-intercept. And the graph have to moving in this direction. So very simple. Sketch. Oops. You cannot draw this way. You will not touching this line here, okay? The line x equals to 1. So from this graph, you can easily read the domain. The domain is, look at this one, right? X must be more than 1, means from 1 cannot include the 1 up to infinity. It's exactly like logarithmic function, right? Itself is a logarithmic function, ln. So range of f will always be the same, negative infinity up to infinity. Alright, I give you 5 examples in this video, right? You don't keep watching the video, but you pause the video. After I finish this one, you pause the video, then you try the function here before you're watching. So right, you are not watching movie, alright, whilst you're watching the video, so you have to understand how's the mathematics go. So if I have negative ln 4 minus x, let's say this case, negative ln 4 minus x. Doesn't matter. So the first step will be always the 4 minus x must be greater than 0. As you know that inside the ln means the log cannot be negative, must be positive, the setting here. So have it turned out to be x less than 4, right? X less than 4. So means that the graph, if you're sketching, you know that the graph will not on the right hand side because less than 4. This is your 4. So it will be either moving, going this direction, going up, or it going down. It depends on which part. This one is you decide 1 or 2. It depends on which part. Depend on the sign here. If this is negative, it will be going down, right? It will not be 1. It will be 2. The shape will be moving this way, right? Negative. Because why? This is positive. Once you put a negative, it will be reflected below here, right? So, okay, now you can sketch the graph. So sketch the graph, locate, letakkan vertical asymptote. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 here. So there is a vertical asymptote here. So the graph will not be here, right? Will not be here. So it will be on the left hand side. So x less than 4, right? So now you know the graph going this way. Many ways they can go. Going here, going there, going here. So many. So you have to find the y-intercept. Either one, because in this case they will intercept the x-intercept and they will also intercept the y-intercept. Either one is okay. Like this case you have no choice because they won't intersect the y-axis. So you have to find the x-intercept. So I will suggest you to find the y-intercept easier. So third, you find the y-intercept. Okay, I'm writing here. The third step is you finding the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, your x has to be 0, right? X has to be 0. So your y equals to, substitute the 0 into the equation. So you have negative ln 4, right? 4 minus 0, 4. So this one you can get the value from calculator, right? You can get the value from calculator. So you key in, you put negative, right? Negative ln 4, right? Negative ln 4, and you're pressing equal, you have negative 1.386. So you just round off, become negative 1.4, right? Negative 1.4. So means there is a negative, they will intercept at negative 1.4, right? So now you know the graph will be moving this way. So you're moving, intercept, alright, intercept the x equals to negative 1/4. So the same thing also, the domain, the range, the domain for f will be less than 4, right? Less than 4 means negative infinity up to 4, and the range always negative infinity to infinity. What you find out is, for exponential function, the graph that have EFX, the exponential function, the domain is always negative infinity to infinity, right? But for logarithmic function, the log function, log or ln function, the range is always negative infinity to infinity, right? So I will give you 3 more examples. Alright, let's continue with these 2 examples. Okay, look at the function first. Okay, pause the video and you can sketch the graph first and you check with my answer, right? So, okay, now you can check your answer. So negative x, the first step here, you can see there is a log, even though this is log 2 or log 3 ln. As long as this is a logarithmic function, you always look at the function inside the log. The negative x must be greater than 0, and turn out to be, you solving this inequality, you have x less than 0, right? Multiplied by negative. So from here you can know that if you have the vertical asymptote for logarithmic function, you always have vertical asymptote, then it will not be on the right hand side because of the less than 0 here. So the graph have to be going up or they will be going down, right? Going down. If it's on the right also, on the right it will be going up or going down also, right? So it's either, so now you have 1 and 2, which one you have to decide. So you have to see that there is a sign of negative here. So you will be moving down, the arrow will be going down. So you were choosing this one and this will not be. So the shape you have confirmed to be this one, right? Very easy. Domain, the shape. So it's on the right or on the left. On the left because of the arrow here, x less than 0, the domain. So number 2, then you're sketching the graph. Very fast, a very effective way. So 0. So 0, and you're putting the x equals to 0. X equals to 0 refer to y axis, right? X equals to 1 is here. 2. X equals to negative 1 is here. So x equals to 0 is on the y axis. So it means that the graph will be on the left of the y-axis, right? It's either going up or going down. Now you're going down because of the negative here, right? So before you know that, the graph will be moving this way. So at first you must find the x-intercept, because if you're moving down here, they will not intercept the y-axis, right? They will not intercept the y-axis in this case. So you don't need to find y-intercept here. So you're finding for x-intercept, right? So x-intercept, y equals to 0, right? Y equals to 0. So y equals to 0. You're solving some logarithmic equation. So equals to 0, right? Slowly, negative ln, negative x, positive 2 will become negative 2. Negative divide by negative, multiply negative both sides. You have 2. And the negative x, what is ln? Ln, it will be log to the base e to 2. So negative x to be e to the power of 2, and x to be negative e to the power of 2, right? You can write in using calculator and finding the value of negative e to the power of 2. So, okay, negative shift e to the power of 2. So you have the value of negative 7.389. You take it to be 1 decimal, negative 7.4, right? Negative 7.4. So where is negative 7.4? It's here, right? The x-intercept, remember, so it's negative 7.4. Just sketching, right? So sketching. So the graph have to be going down. So you have to going down this way. All right. So this is the graph, right? So then the domain you can refer to the number 1 here, which is negative infinity to 0, because 0, okay, less than 0. And the range, of course, is negative infinity to infinity, right? Very, very simple. Now pause the video again. Try this question. Challenge yourself, all right? So, okay, now look at the answer. So fx, a logarithmic function, again, you have to look at the function inside the log. So negative x plus 1 must be greater than 0. Solving the inequality, it must be positive. Negative x must be more than negative 1. Divide by negative, reverse the sign. It still happen to be less than 1, right? Less than 1. Okay, so where is the location? All right, see. So you can think in your mind, they always have a vertical asymptote here. So less than, so means that on the left hand side, it won't be on the right hand side. So on the left hand side, it will be either going up, the first one, or going down. Which one to choose? Depend on the sign in front here. I don't care here is 2, 5, 6, 7 or 8. As long as it is positive, I will choose number 1, right? Going up, so positive. So x less than 1. So number 2, the step 2, you know, you directly transfer the shape into the graph. So x, y 0, 1. So you put here 1, right? So you know the graph will be going up, right? So it's going up. This case, they will intercept the x-axis and also intercept the y-axis. Which one to do? Do you want to find x-intercept or y-intercept? 2 also can. All right. So, but I will prefer you to find y-intercept easier, right? So, find x-intercept or y-intercept, either one. So, I will prefer you to find y-intercept in this case. If there is a x-intercept and y-intercept, you find the y-intercept. Alright, but it depends on you. Alright, x-intercept, x equals to 0, right? X equals to 0. So you have y equals to 2 ln 0. 0 plus 1, you have 1 plus minus 1. So ln 1 is 0, right? You know that ln 1 is 0. Ln e is 1, right? So 2 times 0, you have negative 1. Means that it will intersect at negative 1, right? And the graph have to be going up. But it won't touch the line x equals to 1 forever. So then the domain is negative infinity up to 1, and the range always negative infinity up to infinity, right? Okay, I give so many examples. I hope you really understand, right? So, but the positive 2 here and negative 1 here doesn't have any effect, because you have already find the y-intercept, right? You have to find the y-intercept. The graph is actually already moving downwards, all right? Which indirectly you don't need to consider the negative 1 and positive 2 here in this case. But for exponential, the constant here will be the horizontal asymptote. You can refer to the video, right? So I think that's all for this video.